Well, good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do your November the 30th just for today in a meditation. I hope you're doing well this morning. Let's go ahead and get into that meditation. All right, the title of the meditation, Sharing the Real Me. Sharing with others keeps us from feeling isolated and alone. That comes from the basic text, page 85. Intimacy is the sharing of our innermost thoughts and feelings with another human being. Many of us long for the warmth and companionship intimacy brings, but those things don't come without effort. In our addiction, we learn to guard ourselves from others lest they threaten our using. In recovery, we learn how to trust others. Intimacy requires us to lower our defenses. To feel the closeness intimacy brings, we must allow others to get close to us, the real us. If we are to share our innermost selves with others, we must first have an idea of what those innermost selves are truly like. We regularly examine our lives to find out who we really are, what we really want, and how we really feel. Then, based on our regular inventories of ourselves, we must be as completely and consistently honest with our friends as we can be. Intimacy is a part of life and therefore a part of living clean. And intimacy, like everything in recovery, has its price. The painstaking self scrutiny intimacy calls for can be hard work. And the total honesty of intimacy often brings its own complications. But the freedom from isolation and loneliness that intimacy brings is well worth the effort. Just for today, I seek the freedom from isolation and loneliness that intimacy brings. Today, I will get to know the real me by taking a personal inventory, and I will practice being completely honest with another person. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you, God. Grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Yeah, it just felt like I rushed through that moment of silence, and I probably did, but take another one if you need it. We're talking today about sharing with others keeps us from feeling isolated and alone. You know, isolation and loneliness are oftentimes a part of our using. It's a pattern, it's a habit, it becomes a lifestyle that is incorporated in our using lifestyle. So, getting clean, the opposite of that should be true. It's always good to hear people when they first start getting clean talk about, isolation and they don't like people and they just rather do this thing by themselves. Recovery is an inside job. I don't need anyone else. And come to find out, you end up needing a lot of else's, a lot of other people. Right. And I appreciate that this meditation emphasizes that there's work that comes with intimacy. Intimacy comes with work. So, in order to get it, you must be willing to roll your sleeves up and do some work. I can't hardly share with you my innermost self if I don't know who my innermost self is. So, it is a program of recovery, but it's also of discovery because I've learned some beautiful things about myself over the 30 something years I've been here. And when I tell someone this is who I am, that's who I mean, because now I know exactly who I am, right? I'm still a work in progress, but there's a lot of things about myself that I understand today that I didn't when I first got here. I used to share all the time about being so conflicted. On one hand, wanting to be kind, and then on the other hand, being very hateful. And it bothered me that I could not consistently be the same person all of the time. And then the basic text, we were at least two people at one time. And I was like, that's interesting. And then I began to understand that I could integrate those individuals and I could train the darker side to be more spiritual. And it took work. And so today I don't worry about that. When I want to swing from one side of the pendulum to the other, I don't worry about that. I just bring myself back into focus, back into center, and back into balance. And I'm okay with that today. Let people get to know the real you, but in order to do it, you have to know the real you. And that comes with a personal inventory. I love this part where it says the total honesty of intimacy often brings its own complications. You can be completely honest with someone and they decide, I don't want anything to do with that. That's not who I thought you were. I thought you were someone I could walk over. You mean you don't like it when I boss you around and bully you and am narcissistic with you? You don't like that? Oh, you are recovering too much. I can't deal with that person. So sometimes relationships end. Sometimes people decide, I don't know if I can deal with this, but I'll get back to you. And they'll just go ghost on you, right? So intimacy sometimes can cause people to pull away, but it can also draw very positive, healthy things too, right? Don't be afraid of that. Just make a commitment to work on that. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose.